What's up, world? What's up, DC? What's up, Howard University? How is everyone doing today? You are now listening to Midday Mimosas on WHBC 96.3 HD3, the most poppin' entertainment news show on the college airways, where you talk about like the latest music, fashion, and the craziest celebrity news. Now you're back with your girl, Miss Leisha Marie, and my beautiful co-host.
What's up, world? It's Jamara.
And we have a special guest in the building. Okay, let me just do a little introduction, y'all. So we had him a couple months back, right, when he was just dropping, some music, and we got him in the studio just to talk about it, get to know who Inkay was. But now, a couple months later, he dropped an EP, okay? And we have to come back and we need to talk about it. So, y'all, here's Inkay. How are you, Inkay?
What's up, you guys? Yeah, it's Inkay2x, and how you doing, Alicia, Jamar? Like, it's a pleasure to have y'all back. Like, just to have me back over here at the radio station. You guys gave me my first interview, and like I'm appreciative, so I had to come back and show love. Like, great platform, WHBC. So, favorite interviewers.
Yeah, thank you. No, we're so excited that you're back with us. So, how are you? We dropped last Thursday.
That's right, Superstar.
Superstar. How has it been? You just released it. Tell us about it.
So I feel good. I'm not gonna lie, I feel good. Like, leading up to the release of the EP, it was stressful. It was very stressful. I had to get a lot of things together. Getting songs sent in last minute, getting everything situated, and preparing for like the rollout and promotion up to the EP. And just regular artist things like kind of second guessing your art, self-doubt, anxiety, just nervousness. But the reception, like as the days were coming towards, I started to feel better of myself, more confident in my art, because it was done. It wasn't anything I could do about it at that point. So it's really just having faith in yourself and faith in the work that you spent time to put together. So as the days got nearer and nearer, I started to get more excited. And as the day came, it was a really normal day. But like as soon as 8 p.m., because 8 p.m. is when it dropped, as soon as 8 p.m. hit, the initial response I received was like, it was mind-blowing and shocking to me, because I knew people paid attention, they listened to my music, but to see it manifest physically, like to see the mentions, to see the love, to see the texts, the calls, the people congratulating me, people I hadn't spoken to in 5-10 years, like, oh yeah, I like this, or I see what you're doing, or they enjoy this music. It was like so surreal, and it makes you feel good as an artist to see that people actually care, they enjoy your music, and it also just is something that they look forward to. It's a great feeling.
So, to you first, Inkay, what does it mean to be a superstar?
So I was thinking about this question last night. I was like, yo, so like you saying superstar this, superstar that.
Yeah,
like,
what does it mean?
Like, what does it mean? And honestly, I feel like to be a superstar, it really is like in your own right. So it's really being somebody who's iconic and groundbreaking, and also who stands out and stands for something, but like in yourself, like in your own right. So it doesn't mean you have to have 1 million followers, so it doesn't mean you have to be famous on a big platform. You could be a superstar in your own community, in your own area. Not to sound cliche, but that's real. We have local superstars. You have superstars in your family, somebody you look up to. It's really just really being and emitting an array of light in like your community and your area. So whether that be being an activist, whether that means being like somebody who's really stylish, whether it means being somebody who's outspoken, or whether it means really just being somebody who does things for the community, whether it be with your art form like music, or whether it be with like your actions, so it's philanthropy, or even playing a sport. It's like all sorts of superstars.
Okay, so how did that specific definition help you come up with the concept for a superstar?
So, I came up with this concept it was like a year ago. Came up with this concept like almost like a year ago. And it's like when I first started making music, honestly, something just felt like different about me. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I just felt something was like special, like a ray of light. Like whenever people hear my name and it's like my first name is my last, they're like, oh, see, like that's special. Or like they laugh and like it's something that they remember. So it's felt like, like my mom always told me that like there's something special about you. So it made me feel like, okay, I'm a star. Because like people around me and people who know me say there's something special about me. So it really just admitting that, like, okay, then I'm a superstar, and really just believing it. And it's almost like self-empowerment, me saying it and me believing it, and me also preaching in your music, because like music is also about like feeling and connections with the artist. So when you listen to my music, I want you to feel like you're a superstar too.
Yeah, do you feel like using that name kind of, is kind of like you know how people say they speak into their work?
Yeah.
Are they, like, some people, like, name their children specific things because they want to
Yeah.
speak into their life?
Yeah. Like,
So do you feel it's kind of like speaking into your music, calling it superstar?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like, I was talking to my uncle the other day, and he like, you say you a superstar of this. Are you a superstar, though? He just, like, really just, like, not trying to down me, but really asking me critically about my art. And I was like, well, by popular definition, or it may seem like what people in pop culture consider a superstar, they might not deem me a superstar. But like I said, I feel like I'm a superstar in my own right. Like, or if I'm not by everybody else thinking it, it's something to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a manifestation of me speaking into existence. I believe I'm a superstar, and soon you will believe it too.
Great. So what, did you have any influences going into the creation of the project?
Influences as such in general, artistically, like
Yeah, like, did you have any artist influences? Did you have, like, anything, like, did you see something one day and you're like, this is why I want to base the EP around? Just any influences at all?
So as far as the recording, not necessarily, but like when I was going as far as like the image and the branding, it's really Rihanna. Like I really took a lot. Like, I remember I like would text Nate or like text Dab stuff, and it would just be like, you know, I would just say I like things that she was doing,
Yeah.
and I saw things that she was doing, and she's very iconic to me.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, I like this, or I want to do this, or this and that, because she's somebody who I deem as a superstar more than just her fame and anything that she does. You know what I'm saying? With her efforts when she was helping out in Africa, or even with her venturing into makeup and beauty, and just always being somebody who's at the top or at the echelon of whatever they do. So I really saw a lot of things that she did, like throughout her like her musical career, while she was with Def Jam and stuff like that, or even when she was by herself with Roc Nation. Just certain things she would do with her rollout, her album covers, promotion. I just studied a lot of the things that she did, and it just really inspired me. Like, it inspired me so much. So I would say like Rihanna was one of my main.
And speaking of that album cover, so for yours specifically, how did you come about creating that?
So I dyed my hair. I dyed my hair, and then I thought about something like I wanted it to be like a superstar in their natural element. So I went to like the botanical gardens, and I got a good friend of mine, Corey Silence. He's a photographer, great photographer by the way. And I just wanted to give that superstar look. So that's why I even went in that, where I painted my nails black, and then I got the henna on my hand, just to give something like, okay, somebody who looks different, who looks iconic and stands out. But my look isn't just what I was using to like define me, because it's just more than the look. But visually, I wanted it to represent something that's like, okay, like when you see it, you're like, who is this kid? Like, who is this guy? And whatever conception that you may have, whatever it may cause you, hopefully it will cause you to listen to the music, and then let the music then speak for it, like your decision of who you believe or who you deem me to be. But as far as the cover art, that's really what it was. So we went to the botanical gardens, we took that picture, and I love the way the shoot came out. Like, I looked at it and I was like, is this me? Like, you know, it's like this, like this was really me.
Dope. I do want to say before I ask you this next question, when you're talking about Rihanna, I actually do appreciate the fact that she influences you in some way, right? Because a lot of male artists wouldn't look to a female artist for that influence, you know what I mean? And see what she's did and how that's even empowered you. So I really do enjoy that aspect, the fact that you enjoy Rihanna that much, because a lot of guys wouldn't even be like, oh yeah, like I love Rihanna. They may be like, oh, she bad, but you know what I mean? They wouldn't be like, her artistry and what she does is actually great in helping influencing me in my career. So I like that.
And it's one thing to actually, for her to actually influence you, but for you to actually say it too.
Yeah,
so,
it's
pretty dope.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So we definitely like that. But my next thing is like, how long did it take to make the project, and what was the process like?
Oh my goodness. This, like, the initial planning for this happened in June of 2018. And I thought I was going to drop in July. Little did I know, they kept getting pushed back. And even, like, my friends, members of my team, they were just like, they had thought as well.
Yeah.
They kept getting pushed back. They're like, what are you doing? What you this? I'm like, no, it's not ready.
Yeah.
This needs to happen, this and that. Flying back and forth from Atlanta, meeting and networking with different producers, you know, trying to get that sound right. And then eventually, I want to say, it started to get really, like, planning in like October, November, Yeah, like around like October, November, we really said, okay, like we're gonna start planning for it to come out. So it really took a long time. Like as far as the recording process was done for a while, but just planning on executing it and everything besides just being behind a microphone and recording vocals and like doing stuff as that sort is really what took the longest for the project to come out and getting mixed and mastered and remixed over and over again. But yeah, I mean, it's stressful, it's long, it costs a lot of money, and it's an experience though. Like I've grown so much throughout this process. Like I thought I had it, but like me now will look back at them like you didn't have it. Like you thought you had it, but back then you've grown so much from this experience. I'm so glad that you went through this, because I used to think like, you know, everything happens for a reason. I believe God lets things happen to people for a reason. I used to think like, why did it take this long? Or like, why did it come to this? People be like, oh, you're supposed to drop in December. Like, why is it January? Literally, not supposed to drop months before that. But just everything happens for a reason. So even me going like the final product that you guys hear is like not the final product that I thought it would be. It's really what just came out at the end. So like throughout the process, it was just like long, but it was very informative, and I really needed it to grow as not only a person but as an artist and somebody trying to pursue a music career in this industry.
Now you mentioned that some of that process was stressful. Would you say it was more? Well, first, did you have any emotional moments during the creation of this album, and was some of it fun? And was there a balance, or would you say it was more stressful, or was it fun, or was it one outweigh the other?
So I enjoy music, so it's always fun, but it is work because this is something that your work is called a project for a reason, not fun time. So like, throughout the moments, there were emotional moments. Like, I almost shed a tear like a week before it dropped because like it hit me like emotionally. I was like, you know, I never thought I would cry with something like this. Like I told you, I wasn't really feeling it or even emotional about it. Then I'm like, oh, like I'm about to drop a project. Like I'm about to put myself out to the world. Like I'm about to give myself a portion of myself, my emotions, most vulnerable. Like people were saying, like when they got my EP listening, they're like, yo, it takes a lot to really put yourself out there as a person. And I'm reading that, I'm like, it takes a lot. I'm thinking like, what are they saying? But really, it does. Like I was like, people are gonna listen to this. They're gonna realistically, whether I like it or not, they're gonna have a first impression on me. They're gonna judge me. They're gonna pigeonhole. They're gonna box me. They're gonna do all these things, all these like about me, not even really knowing me. So it's like it really does take a lot. Like it's not just just putting some music out, or just releasing a project
and
like,
see how people like it.
And see how people like it. Like
it's literally giving yourself.
It's literally you're giving, especially if you put emotions to your music. Like my song Mama, it was feelings of me conflicted about my mom not feeling some sort of way about me pursuing a career in music, or songs like Believe, like me really just having to believe in myself because I have nothing to really show me that I really got it yet, or that I will be somebody in music besides my own belief. Or like bands now really just, you know what I'm saying, just really feeling like, you know, I got them bands, like I got that money. And Chrome Hearts just really going through like relationships and problems, and also trying to pursue this, escaping my nightmares, just feeling down, and also people going through emotional trauma such as death. And Interlude, just same things that I've mentioned before. And yeah, Got You's fun though, so I guess I really I love Got You. I had a lot of fun recording that, and so I guess you could say, yeah, it's fun sometimes though, for sure, but there's also real emotion in there. So
okay, now we're definitely going to get into track by track later on, but first let's talk about the production. So if you listen to this project, a lot of the production is cohesive, and for most people, they really can't accomplish that without an executive producer. But for you, you had a couple different producers, from Merle to Austin to Carlos. So first, how was it selecting those producers and ultimately curating that sound for Superstar?
Oh, you're amazing. You like even knew them by like name, like you're great. But as far as me knowing them, I really this is just networking. So like I really didn't know these. Well, that's a lie. I knew Austin's my homie, like from day one. That's my homie, but that's a whole other story. But like I knew him ever since way back when, before we were really taking music seriously. And but really just because I have a sound in mind, and I had a sound in mind, and my ears automatically fine-tuned to that sound. So like, even though I was working with a couple of producers who are networking, who were friends, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, I felt it and I heard it, And I can't even lie, like Dav really helped me with like the recording, not the recording, but the listing of the songs. And like like my whole team did and all my friends did, but like really like song by song was telling me like what sounds good after this and after that and after that. So it really has a cohesive and a flow. Because you said he told me that you should put out a cohesive and strong body of work for your first project. And cohesive was when like you and him used the same adjectives, like you want it to flow because you want people to be able to feel it and enjoy the whole experience because it's an experience realistically. So me just doing that, even though it's a whole bunch of different producers and a whole bunch of different sounds, it's really just you as the artist knowing what sounds good together and you also getting feedback on what really sounds good together.
Okay, now Superstar has the perfect balance of elements that really gravitate to a lot of audiences, which are the beats that you have and the melodies that you use. Now this is something that's also consistent throughout your music in general. So for this specific project, was it intentional to stick with what you know, or was it just something that was natural?
It really was just natural because it was my first project. Like my one of my good homeboys, Manny, he told me like, because at first I was feeling conflicted with my artistry. He like, I want to do this, try that. He's like, don't even try to switch it up yet. They haven't even heard NK for real. So why would you try to switch it up? You could like ride this NK wave for a little bit longer. Like give them something to have, so you know, like from this sound. So really like me being melodic and me focusing on like singing and song and stuff like that. It just came to me natural, you know, like I've really been singing since I was a young age. So like the NKYU always singing is just something that's natural to me. And yeah.
So overall with that, like what subgenre of rap would you place Superstar? Or is it in its own category?
I can't, like my man's Josh told me that like really you can't really like, it'll be hard. You know, like he be poking at me about like different stuff, but like really it's hard to really put it in a subgenre. Because I can't even really identify it. I'm just really making music on how I feel like I'm making music and like the sound that I feel like sounds right. So like, you know, I would want to say like, of course I love hip hop, I love rap, and I love the culture, and it has elements infused in that. But like, I can't truly identify it because it's like me going for like a pop branding image, but also like sonically, it's not, it wouldn't be all the way there. So that's up for really the listeners and people to decide, because I don't know.
I feel you. So okay, we'll be right back. The interlude by Inkay2x is coming up. Okay, so keep it locked. We'll be right back. This is Midday Mimosas on WHBC 96.3 HD3. WHBC 96.3 HD3 with your girl Miss Leash Marie and my beautiful co-host.
What's up, y'all? It's Shamari.
And we have Inkay2x in the building, in the station. He is back, and we've been having a beautiful interview, just getting to know him, his views, and his project. But we're gonna go now dissect the project piece by piece. All right?
Like my hair.
Yeah.
It's blue.
I do. NK, you know I'm always with the different colors.
Yeah,
we love the vibes. We love a color. Okay. Okay, we gonna start by breaking down the project of Superstar. So first, Escape My Nightmares. Why did you choose this to be the first song?
Produced by my boy Manny Hill. Shout out Manny. And I originally wanted it to be the last song. Like I said, I really talked over with my team and my management, and like that really just told me like this is what it needs to start at. This needs to set the tone, set the vibe. And it's also the song I released the visual first for, so it really preceded the project as far as setting the tone. So it's really like a dark vibe, and it really, I don't know, it's really a feel song. Like when the song comes in, even the way the beat was made, it's something that like, it's like almost like a dark ushering into a brighter project, because the project sonically it even gets brighter as far as from that song. So it's kind of just like the lights are off and it's like slowly like the sun comes out, and that's really what it was kind of like the image I was going for. So it's like from dark to light.
Cool. So for Chrome Hearts, why doesn't being in love and being a star go together?
A lot of reasons. It's funny because I watched the interview a while ago with like Katy Perry, and she was talking about the issues she faced in her relationship and stardom. And it's just difficult because, especially if you're not even dating somebody on that plane, like on that plane of stardom, it's already difficult within that. But then especially like the things you have to deal with, you just dealing with more as a person in yourself. You know, you don't live a regular life. You don't get treated differently. Like there's a saying, fame doesn't change you, it changes the people around you. But it even can change you because you don't live the same life. You don't have the same space, the same status. So it's hard to even maintain a stable, regular life. Imagine even maintaining a relationship. It transferring over. It's just so difficult. That's why a lot of people try to keep their relationships out the public life. You see a lot of rappers, we have undercover girlfriends.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're cheating, but it's also people who you wouldn't know. They've had a girlfriend or even a wife for the longest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard as a person in the public eye to really pursue a relationship.
Okay, now on Interlude, a standout part of this
Oh yeah,
track.
produced by Merle Chrome Arts.
A standout part of this track is where you touch on the criticism of why Inkay sings so much. So for you, what is it about melodies that gravitate to you?
I mean, I can't even front. I'm a singer. Like, I've been singing since I was young. It's something I can't lie, it's part of my upbringing. For me, even like taking vocal lessons as a kid. My mom forced me to do all this stuff, by the way. I didn't really have a choice. But taking vocal lessons or like being in a choir or just doing different things that allowed me being like melodic, such as playing instruments or competitions. Me, actually, I was in a competition when I was 17. And I just found myself, when I was younger, I used to really just spit bars. I just spit like everywhere. But then as far as I started getting into like more singing and stuff, I just found myself always singing. Like anybody who knows me, you can ask all my friends, if you just be around me long enough, you're gonna hear me sing. Like, I just like, not even being annoying, I can't help it. It's something I do subconsciously. I just start singing wherever I'm at or walking. And one day I noticed it myself. I'm like, why are you always singing? Like, really though, like, I was thinking to myself, why am I always doing this? And it's just thinking somebody looking at me like, why you always singing, bro? Somebody might have said that to me. If you did, my bad. I just forgot, but yeah.
So for bands now, what's the difference to you between a rock star and a superstar?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting shout out these producers. I just really want to make sure they get love.
Yeah.
My boy Austin, he produced Water Supply. He produced Interlude. But to your question of bands now, what's the difference between a rock star and a superstar? So like a rock star has a more like, you know, he's more like rebellious, don't care, like more grungy, more aggressive, more in your face image. And a lot of people kept telling me that I was like more like a rock star when I first really went about this and getting the image. And I guess it's because, like, you know, I really listened to a lot of rock music, and I did when I was a kid more than I do now. But even just looking at the people who consider themselves rock stars, like Lil Uzi Vert. So I guess the image, people thought that I emit that image, so they would call me rock star, rock star, rock star. You a rock star? Even after one of my first performances. But then I'm like, no, I'm not a rock star, because my image is just a little bit more cleaner than that. You know, even the way that I carry myself and I hold myself to like I try to be a little cleaner image. I don't know if it works or not, but just being more of a light, because like a rock star is more like a, I don't know, like more like a, but like superstar is more like a, you know, like, so I think I'm a superstar. Produced by my boy Kel Vibes.
So for Got You, which is honestly one of my favorite songs on the EP, one, I have a lot, but that's just one of them. It's a really fun song, right? So how was the process of making that song?
That song was great. I was on my way to Atlanta, about to fly. I was actually sitting in my bed, and my boy Chase, he's the one who produced it, Bricko, he sent me the beat. And I played it on my thing, and I was like, the beat's like really bouncy and dancing, and I was like, I got a girl, and she in my boo. And I was just like, that. It just came, like, it just, I started bouncing, and the catchy cadence and the melody just came, and I was like, I started dancing, I started laughing. I was like, yo, like, this song makes me feel good. Like, it's enjoyable. It was fun, like you said. So it's just like, I was like, yeah, like, this is like, it's just fun. And even when I was recording it, my man Josh was with me. My boy HB recorded that song for me at his studio, and yeah, it was just like really experience.
All right, now for the next track on the project, Believe. So did you always know the importance of believing in yourself? And if you didn't, when did that switch happen, and how did it impact you?
So as far as believing in myself, it's something that really came with me starting, because realistically, a lot of people who do this music business do not make it. It's a very small percentage. My relatives, when I told them that I wanted to pursue a career in music, they tell me this, they kind of shut it down my throat. A lot of people don't make it. A small percentage people who make it. And it's really like my homies always tell me, especially Dab, like, if you don't believe in yourself, why are you doing this? You can't really make it. You got to be a number one fan. If you don't believe in yourself, you cannot make it. So it's just like something I learned that I have to do. If you want to get anywhere, like as far as going far or reaching a certain length or a certain height, if you don't believe in yourself, it will not manifest and things won't come to pass. So I got my boy Los on the feature. Shout out my boy Los. I really appreciate that song. He produced the beat, mixed and engineered and all that stuff. He really took a hold of that song. And really, I just came in, I just set the tone and brought the vibes. Like, yo, like, he's an artist too. Like, you gotta believe in yourself. It's really an inspirational song. Like, I've sent it to like people and like they feel better, and that's really what it's supposed to do. One of my most like inspirational songs on that project. Just believe. Anybody out there, anything, not even music. Believe in yourself.
For sure. So then we go into Mama. So first, has your mother heard this song?
She hasn't.
Okay. Now, was it difficult for you to separate what she wanted you to do and following your dreams?
Oh, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because like, especially like being as like a child with African parents from Cameroon, my parents from Cameroon, it's hard. You find yourself trying to please them more than you trying to find yourself trying to do what you want to do. And so like, it's just the way you're brought up to really respect your elders and really like, you know, put your family first. And so like all my relatives and my they always wanted me to like go to medical school, and that's what I thought I wanted for myself too, become a doctor. I'm still even a biology major, but then when I realized, I just woke up one day and I'm like, well, this is what I want to do. And then even getting the strength to first tell my mom, I didn't even like, she found out. I didn't even really tell her. She was like, so why is this happening? Why is this happening? I mean, I had a show and my cousin had a wedding and I couldn't stay. And they were like, well, she's like, why you couldn't stay? And I was like, I had a show. She's like, what show?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got performance. She's like, wait, what? And it's like all this and that. And she was just against it. Because I mean, I don't blame her the way she found out, and also not what she wanted from me. Rightfully so. I mean, the music industry is a crazy place, so any parent would kind of be like skeptical for the child to go in that endeavor. But really just separating myself and my mom getting to understand, because now we're at a way better place. When I made that song, that were my feelings at that moment. A lot of people tell me they feel that song, so I guess it's a sentiment a lot of people feel with trying to chase what they want to do and what their parents want for them to do. But it's like now my mom is a little bit more understanding. She isn't completely like, you know, on board, but she's on the stage where she's like, oh, I'm gonna let go and let God. Like, I'm gonna trust in him and I'm gonna see that everything happens. So
yeah, and I really do appreciate that song in general, because like you said, even just, especially us at this age, you know what I mean? Like, most of us, like, we're about to graduate from college and stuff like that. And our parents definitely have an idea of what they want us to do. But then we have our own paths and we want to live our own lives. So I definitely like that track, especially for people in this stage of life of transitioning, of just trying to figure out, like, what's important to them for you solely and not for everybody else. Trying to believe in yourself and do what's good for you and not everybody else.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that track. But what are your favorite records on Superstar and why?
Okay. Oh yeah, Mama was produced by my boy Jeff49. Shout out Jeff. And my boy Shaman mixed a lot of songs on this project, so shout out him as well. You know, I love to give credit to the people who have worked on this project, all my friends and family, because without them and everybody who worked on it, the project doesn't exist. So I always got to make sure to shout them out and give them credit. But my favorite songs personally, man, they fluctuated. But if I'm looking at the track list right now, I want to say the people made Chrome Hearts grow on me. I think Nate was the first person to really tell me that song really went crazy, and my boy Marley. But that song is really one of my favorites. Got You. That song grew on me as well. Yeah. Glad like everybody tells me about that song. And I would say last but not least, Believe.
Yeah.
Because the song just like, it speaks, like whenever I hear that song, I'm like, there was actually a point in time I actually told Dad just to like, what happened? Oh yeah, I was feeling down by myself in my artistry, like before the project came out. I was really feeling down, like legitimately feeling down. I listened to Believe and I literally felt better. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like to listen to my own song, not even for the purpose of inspiration, just to listen to it. And I'm listening, I'm like, whoa, I said this. I told myself you have to believe. I said that things aren't gonna happen right away, that you're gonna have to like trust in yourself and work towards it for things to happen. And it's really not, it's really how long you stay. Like how long you're willing to trust the process and go throughout it and really just, you know, stick it out. And I was like, yo, this song, it gotta be one of my favorites. It means something to me.
Now, are there any underlying underlying meanings in this project that you want people to grasp?
Ooh. Underlying meanings.
Underlying meanings. Can I say anything?
I feel like you did about being a superstar already.
Underlying meanings. Cause this is my chance. I don't want there to be something, and then people like that they didn't know. I'm trying to.
Or do you think it really just speaks for itself?
I mean, essentially, it speaks for itself because I do say everything that I'm feeling in my music. But I guess I want to say interlude. It's really like when I made that song. It's more like it's almost along the lines of like Believe, to where like when I really say stuff like I know I'm a star, boy I work so hard, or when I say stuff like I hope all of this was worth it, things like that. Like it's just me retrospectively looking inside of myself, like okay, this is what this life entails and the process of getting there. And it's just like, oh, like, I mean, are you good enough? Or this is happening in my life. Like I said, ex-girlfriend, I was dealing with relationship problems at the time. You know, just all sorts of things. It's really that interlude, like if you listen to that, like think of it as an introspective track, as somebody looking into themselves. It's really taking the time from looking outward from a superstar, but looking inside yourself.
So Inkay, last but not least, what are some things that Inkay2x hopes to accomplish in this superstar era?
To basically get my artistry known, like, and respected. So for people to really just hear my art, hear what I have to offer as an artist and a musician, and number one, enjoy it, and number two, respect the art, but then number three, to like really like use it practically, so throughout their life, whenever they're feeling certain emotions or whenever they're going through certain experiences, to tie this, because music is the best when it's practical, when it means something to you, like when you can tie it to this experience, when you can use it when you're feeling like this, or even put it behind something else. Like maybe people could use these songs, like, you know what I'm saying, when they're making a little video for something, or, you know, just like practical use of the music. That's really what I just hope for this superstar era, just to like my music to really just be known like a Stars is, and respected and renowned. Like Michael Jackson, a superstar, right?
Yeah.
You know, so just really have way people love and respect his music, to like along the same lines on a smaller scale, but like do it the same way.
Okay, guys, that was Inkay2x, y'all. Hear the name, know the name.
Know the name.
It will be known and heard from around the world. I promise you that.
Let people know where they can find Superstar.
So Superstar is available on all streaming platforms, including but not limited to Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube,
Everywhere.
Tidal. I love Tidal. I use Tidal personally, but it's everywhere. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Inkay2x, Inkay2x.
Okay, guys, you heard it all here. Okay, do not sleep. All right, don't sleep. I
Don't
promise
sleep.
you.
You will enjoy
Don't-
the project.
Don't sleep. I promise you, don't sleep. But thank you, Inkay, for coming to studio again, speaking with us. This is just, you know, this is great. This is like our first follow-up interview.
Yeah.
So that just is great for us, and we're just happy to have you here. So thank you so much for coming to the studio.